Right?
Right.
Thank you.
Then his next question is, if he is a prophet, what was the need of a prophet after the religion has been completed, perfected in Islam?
Because Imam al-Mahdi has been predicted by Hadhrat Muhammad Rasulullah himself. And because, according to the Quran, the prophets did not come only to introduce a new law. They came also sometimes because people were dishonest in their trade relationship, in their commerce, in every way, selling and buying things. So the Holy Quran says, وَيْلٌ لِلْمُطَفِّفِينَ الَّذِينَ اكْتَالُوا عَلَى النَّاسِ إِذَا اكْتَالُوا عَلَى النَّاسِ يَسْتَوْفُونَ وَإِذَا كَالُوا عَلَيْهِمْ إِذَا كَالُوهُمْ أَوْ وَزَنُوا يُخْسِرُونَ إِذَا كَالُوهُمْ أَوْ وَزَنُوا يُخْسِرُونَ. وَيْلٌ لِلْمُطَفِّفِينَ. Woe to those who are not honest in their measures or in their weighing things and do injustice. That is mutaffif. How they do it? وَإِذَا قَالُوا عَلَى النَّاسِ يَسْتَوْفُونَ. When they measure things or weigh things, which they buy, they see to it that they get the full measure, or even more if possible, just tawfoon. But when they weigh things which they are going to sell to others, then they always reduce the measure. And for that prophets came. And prophets came, according to the Holy Quran, for small things of moral, of moral failure of the people. Salih came for one purpose, Shuaib came for another purpose. Again, the prophets came to rehabilitate the morals of the people. Hazrat Lot came to fight against an evil behavior, conduct of a people which was so vicious, but in one area. So if the evil spreads everywhere, if the society, despite being religious, has become immoral to the utter extent, then the best answer to this is for God to send a prophet from himself, where the things reach a point where from there, if belated, then there can be no return afterwards. The people reach the end of their teeth, they reach the end of the precipice from which they fall down to utter destruction. If Allah wants to save such an ummah, the ulama of that period simply cannot save them, because they are themselves largely responsible for that destruction. So if Allah does not send anyone from heaven, no one can save them. It's not a question of completeness of Sharia at all. It's a simple question of rearmament of morality. Or also, it's a question of correct interpretations. Now the questioner knows so well that the Holy Quran remains exactly the same as it was revealed to Hadhrat Muhammad Rasulullah, but the interpretations vary so much that by the same verse, some sects infer something else and other sects infer something completely different. The Shia say this verse indicates that Hazrat Ali was right and all the other Sahaba were hypocrites. And the Muslim Sunni scholars say, what do you mean you have gone mad? It doesn't mean that. So sometimes one is right, sometimes the other is right. What is the meaning of perfection left if these people are not corrected by divine authority at a time when things have gone completely out of hand? It is that reason, for that reason, that a divine reformer has to be sent not to change the religion, but to bring it back to its original pristine purity. So Masih Maud came as a prophet of God, subordinate prophet in Islam, not to add to Islam, but to remove all additions which are unauthorized. Right?
Right, Uzur, he has further asked that does the appearance of a new prophet not interfere with the status of the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam?
It helps rehabilitate his true status, because he helps the coming of a prophet, the advent of a prophet, if it helps clarify the meaning of the Holy Quran so that it falls into step with the explanations of Hadhrat Muhammad Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and it falls into step with the message of other verses on the same subject, then how can he oppose the mission of Hadhrat Muhammad? He supports the mission.
Right, Uzur.
Right.
I would just mention his question, otherwise you have already sufficiently explained it. He says that, God forbid, does it not amounting to being disrespectful to the Holy Prophet, peace be upon him, that he is the last prophet and another prophet appears?
No, this is not disrespectful, as we believe. A subordinate, perfect slave to him, obedient in every respect. So much so that he becomes a spiritual son of Muhammad Rasulullah. So much so that his advent is prophesied in the Quran as if Muhammad Rasulullah would come again. How can it be disrespectful? When the Holy Quran says, فَبَعْثَ فِي الْأُمِّيِّينَ رَسُولًا مِّنْهُمْ يَتْلُو عَلَيْهِمْ آيَاتِهِ وَيُزَكِّيهِمْ وَيُعَلِّمُهُمُ الْكِتَابَ وَالْحِكْمَةَ وَإِنْ كَانُوا مِنْ قَبْلُ لَفِي ضَلَالٍ مُبِينٍ. The first advent of Hadhrat Muhammad Rasulullah is mentioned, is completed here. What is left? If there was no one to come again. But the Holy Quran, Surah Jummah, continues by saying, وَآخَرِينَ مِنْهُمْ لَمَّا يَلْحَقُوا بِهِمْ. He would raise a prophet, this prophet who is mentioned, no other prophet is mentioned, among the people of the latter days. And then explains, ذَلِكَ فَضْلُ اللَّهِ يُؤْتِيهِ مَن يَشَاءُ. If it was Hazrat Muhammad Rasulullah himself, then there is not a question of man yasha. That means the advent of another person is prophesied in the name of Hazrat Muhammad Rasulullah, and that honor would be granted to whomsoever Allah pleases. Yoti man yasha. Wallahu dhul fadl azim. God has tremendous beneficence, or fadl means grace. He bestows things without limitation. So this verse again throws light on the same subject. It will be an insult to Hazrat Muhammad Rasulullah if somebody is not born in his ummah who has acquired a complete posture of obedience, so complete that Muhammad Rasulullah's name could be given to him to indicate complete agreement, not to indicate equality. So he must not misunderstand me. This complete agreement sometimes warrants the granting of the same name, but not equality. Like in case of Hazrat Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, we find in the Holy Quran, وَمَا رَمَيْتَ إِذْ رَمَيْتَ وَلَكِنَّ اللَّهَ رَمَى. It was not you who sent the handful of your pebbles upon the enemy, it was Allah who did it. Yadullahi fawqa aydihim. The hand of Muhammad Rasulullah is described Allah's hand. Innama yubayyi'un Allah. The innama yubayyi'un is a very strong and emphatic statement. It rules out any other person. It says they are only getting initiated at the hand of Allah, while they are getting initiated at the hand of Hazrat Muhammad Rasulullah. So innama is an expression of hasar, which means it is only God, none else. So would Muhammad Rasulullah be a God? The only acceptable interpretation is that because he is a perfect slave of Allah, he doesn't do anything but what Allah requires. So his doing is referred to as Allah's doing. So the same logic will extend to Hazrat Masih Maud according to this verse of Surah Jummah. At his coming will be the coming of